Chewy, my friend, I really wanted to talk to you about this because you are a comedian. Tony Hinchcliffe is a comedian, and I wanted to get a few takes from you. Now, everyone would have seen this up until now. Oh, grumpy face. Did everyone see that Chewy grumpy face? Can you do that again? Hang on, Chewy. Just do that again. Show us that one again. The grumpy face. Like, there you go. Okay. Yeah, we got that. Beautiful. All right. Everyone's seen this, but just for the sake of clarity, let's have a look what was said as a part of his set.
It is absolutely wild times. It really, really is. And, you know, there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right. Okay.
There is also a clip with Tim Walls watching that with AOC, who is Puerto Rican, and that's an interesting watch out there. This is another joke that was made during it, and you can put air quotes around the word joke if you like. That's up to you.
I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this. It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
So there's a couple of the setups and jokes. Now, Chewy, I want your take on this being a comedian. Interestingly enough, watching Jon Stewart tonight, Jon Stewart will be one of the more respected comedians out there, without backing Tony Hinchcliffe altogether, saying, that was brilliant. He was like, they were jokes. They might have landed, but they were jokes. I've got some thoughts as well, but you first, sir. You're the comedian.
Look, objectively, I think they're shit jokes. I mean, okay, you just seen what he's done. Would you say that this guy is a comedian, or would you say he's a racist?
Well, that's the debate going on, isn't it? That's the debate around it is, where is he from? Now, not to cut you short already, but I think it's probably quite important to get the context of what is happening as well. So this is who Tony Hinchcliffe is. He runs the world's largest live podcast called Kill Tony. Kill Tony, you get a whole bunch of comedians turn up, names get thrown in a hat, you pull out the hat, you pull a name out of the hat, and you get 60 seconds to do your best stuff. And that's what Kill Tony is. He's also the preeminent roasting comedian in the US. Any roast you've ever seen.
Preeminent?
Yeah, absolutely. If you let me finish the thing. Anyone that you've seen, roast that you've seen, he'll have had his hands on it somewhere. In other words, he's written for them, he's performed in them, he's been involved with roasts forever. Oh, okay, maybe I'll step back. Because you've got, I forget his name. What's his name? That dude there. He's probably the preeminent, the funniest roaster.
Yeah, so I've seen a bunch of these roasts, and this guy isn't in my memory bank at all.
Well, let's have a look, shall we? This is a bit of his roasting that's been going on. And just by the way, I'm not doing this to defend the guy or comments, but it's important to have the full context, I think, rather than a couple of 30-second clips. So this is what he's known for. This is his comedy. This is how it rolls.
Tom is afraid of the Giants, which is why Kevin Hart is hosting tonight. All night, he's been using the stool that Aaron Hernandez kicked out from under himself.
Now, if you don't know, Aaron Hernandez is an American football player who hung himself, committed suicide. So they're raw and rough and bad taste jokes.
Kevin is so small that when his ancestors picked cotton, they called it deadlifting. Tom Brady is a patriot, which is surprising considering he looks like a Confederate fag. Clearly, your ex-wife takes after you. I hear she's out there draining balls right now.
So, we can keep going on, but you get the gist. That's who he is. So now the context for who he is, let's talk about what we saw. Chewy.
Yeah, so like I said, I've watched a bunch of the roast battles and the celebrity roasts that they've had in recent times, and yeah, there's a lot of dark humor, very edgy humor, that sort of thing, and it's like the stuff that he was doing in that roast wasn't clever. It's just hard charging to be offensive more than anything. You know, you look up Jimmy Carr on those roast battles.
I've been thinking as you were speaking, the exact name in my head was Jimmy Carr.
Yeah. Now Jimmy Carr can be super offensive at times, but his jokes are also more well crafted.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, I don't know what you have to, like. Are you going to bring your A game if you're opening for Trump at his little Trump circle jerk rally? No, you just go out there and you play the hits, which is just xenophobia and racism. That you're not going out there for clever wordplay or that sort of thing. It just won't be appreciated.
There was I can't remember who it was, but it's one of these comedians. It might have been someone like Tom Segura or someone like that, talking about it's always uncomfortable when you make an obvious joke, let's say in one of the southern states of America, and you're saying the opposite of what the norm is, and the laughter should be, oh my God, that's so wrong, you said that, I'm uncomfortable laughing. But there's always one person who laughs because they agree with it. It's like he was talking to the crowd who agreed with those sentiments. He wasn't talking to the crowd who are going to go, oh, no, I'm giving you a nervous laugh because we shouldn't say that.
Here's the other difference with a roast, right? Willing participant.
True. Yep, they signed a contract. They signed an unwritten contract to attend.
Everybody's up there, and they know that the gun could be turned on them as well, and nothing is off limits,
Yeah.
Like Pete Davidson made jokes about his dad dying in 9/11. It's pretty good, but again, it is, when you're telling a joke, both parties need to be in on the joke for it to work. Part of the reason that I enjoy roast battles so much is you see how close people can get to the line and you see the person's reaction. And usually in all of those roast battles, people are laughing. They're enjoying it. They're involved in it. He just took a pot shot at an entire island for a US protectorate, no less. That they were just garbage people and just played racist tropes for minimal laughter, I would point out as well.
And now, of course,
it wasn't played as a joke.
Now, of course, the conversation starts to come. Trump distancing himself, or Trump's team, you never hear Trump do this, Trump's team distancing themselves from the comments. They have a problem there, though. The problem there is they vetted his set, because he was going to call Kamala Harris, a see you next Thursday. And they said no. That means they saw the jokes. They took at least one of them out, said you can't do that one, which means they let that one get through. So whether you think he's racist or whether you think it was just the wrong place for that kind of comedy, one thing is 100% clear. Trump's team were okay with those jokes, because if they're going to take something out that they think is not okay, that means what they leave in is okay. And that's unquestionable, Chewy.
You just reminded me of something that I saw.
Oh, yeah?
This is a now deleted tweet shit, whatever it's called, from X now. Now America is Elon's own super PAC.
Yeah.
So this is from their official account. America really can't afford a C word in the White House right now. Vote today. With the image to match. Now, it's interesting that that's come up twice in the same sort of period. I showed this to a few people, and of course we hear C word, and we know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the only thing it could mean. It could mean communist.
Right.
Can you think of another C word that it could mean?
I mean, I would only think of one if they said the C word. But yeah, it could mean communist. But it's not what I would jump out.
Are you thinking of the racial slur?
No.
So there's another one.
As in the short version of those little animals that look like pandas. Panda garbage. What are they called? Garbage pandas. Those ones.
Yeah. Trash pandas. Right. So yeah.
Trash pandas.
This is the level of where Trump supporters are And Elon Musk, one of the world's richest men,
Mm.
with his own social media platform, that's what he's pouring into the political debate.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
anything about policies or anything like that. Let's just say C word, and we'll let people fill in what they want it to be.
And just remember, right, when Elon Musk started Twitter, bought it, started X, he was very clear that it was going to be a neutral platform. That both the right and the left should hate him, and both the right and the left should laud him. So I wanted to say one other thing. Who is the person that is happiest today that Tony Hinchcliffe is getting all this heat? The answer is Seth Meyers, and I'll explain why. There are 450,000 Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a swing state. Tony Hinchcliffe's jokes may well have cost Donald Trump the election. It's a possibility. Those jokes, especially the one around Puerto Rico, may have cost Trump the election. Now, back in the day, Seth Meyers was hosting the Correspondents' Dinner. And many people think, and I even think that Seth has sort of mea culpa to this a little bit, that the jokes that Seth Meyers made about Donald Trump on this night was the fire that drove Donald Trump to try and become president. Have a oh, you're going to say something first? I was going to say have a listen, but you can go.
No, I know where you're going with this.
Have a listen.
Great. And then, of course, there's Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Oh, there's someone that enjoys a roast.
Yeah.
Donald Trump often appears on Fox, which is ironic because a fox often appears on Donald Trump's head. If you're at the Washington Post table with Trump and you can't finish your entree, don't worry, the fox will eat it. And if I can for a moment talk about the birther issue, when did we get so suspicious about where people were born? A USA Today poll last week said 38% of Americans think the president was definitely born in the US. In the same poll, in the very same poll, only 5% more said Donald Trump was definitely born in the US. Has it reached the point where Americans only think someone was born here if they saw it? I know I was born here, and I know my younger brother was born here. But when it comes to my older brother, I can only take him at his word. Gary Busey said recently that Donald Trump would make a great president. Of course, he said the same thing about an old rusty birdcage he found.
Yeah, goes on. So there are many people who believe that everyone, I can see the people in the chat, he's steaming, believe that was the moment when Donald Trump, that gave him the fire. So it might end up being that a comedian, Seth Meyers, aided getting Donald Trump into the House, and another comedian was the reason he didn't get back in again. So I think Seth Meyers is probably the happiest comedian in the world today, seeing Tony Hinchcliffe is trending. Chewy.
Talking about the comedian issue, right? I saw someone mention this in the chat that conservatives can't do comedy. I think we've talked about this on the show with a couple of clips as well, is that there aren't really good right-wing comics. Like they're conspicuous in their absence, put it that way.
Yeah.
Even like really edgy comics, like they say Ricky Gervais, or God, what's the guy's name? He's one of my favorites as well, and I've just gone absolutely blank. Scottish guy. Chat, help me out. Absolutely roasts people. It'll come to me. Yeah. Well, Bill Burr's a good example. Again, someone that will absolutely savage both sides of the aisle. Absolutely savage. Bill Burr, Frankie Boyle. Thank you, CB. Yeah, Frankie Boyle's one of my favorites. Absolutely right up to the edge, sometimes very, very much past it. But he is very, very left-wing and not shy of hiding it. I mean, you'd look at the selection of entertainment has-beens and weirdos that have rallied to Trump's side. Like, think that one of the stars of that rally was Hulk Hogan of all people.
I don't see no Nazis in this place.
If this was 1993, that would have had some real star power, but it's just not there. And I think, they're always complaining about being cancelled, or the media pulling away from them, or it's all a setup. It's just people don't dwell with it. Like, I think very much in New Zealand, but I think overall most people just don't want to be dicks.
Yeah.
Like, if you could get through life being not a dick to as many people as possible for your entire life, I think that is most people's goal. But when it comes to being a Trump supporter and being all about MAGA and that sort of thing, it goes past what I would call traditional conservatism, which I think the more right, the more conservative you go, the more it is about the you rather than the us, right? And I think the MAGA crowd have made that more about, look, stuff for me is really important, but also what's really important is somebody has to suffer. And that is someone that doesn't look like me. And that's not funny. It's just not funny.